All right, what is going on, everyone? Gonna give this a minute to kind of get where it needs to be. Hopefully you guys will start seeing it soon. Let me see. There it goes. Okay, it's on there now. Cool. I think that's good. Live chat's right here. I'm trying to make sure that if somebody comments that it'll be able to be seen. So I've got my hair put back in with like this band because like it's just at the point where it's just long enough to go in my eyes, and I'm growing my hair back out. So I wear a headband to keep it tied back. What is going on, Cole? Welcome to the stream. Nothing, not like an interview or anything tonight. Today I am just doing a little bit of a stream here. Just I did. It's been, man. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the last like Q&A type of Ask Me Anything that I've done was the end of May. So I wanted to do another one. I like to do them every week, like a Q&A. I just haven't had time lately. So, but yeah, what is going on, everybody? Welcome. Daydreamer444, hi, hello, welcome. So you can ask. Just ask me anything. If it's not something I feel like answering, if it's too off topic, I won't. But whatever. Just the worst that can happen is you ask a question and I don't answer it, I guess. But feel free to send some stuff my way. What is going on, Zachary Kilburn? Welcome. So I've got a little bit of time. I've done most of my Anki reps. I've done my Tango and 5 deck today, and I've got a little bit of RTK left to finish, but nothing too crazy. It's really weird talking with both headphones in. I feel like I'm underwater or something, so I'm gonna take that one out. But yeah, so I've got the Tango deck done today, and I've got just a little bit of kanji left to do, and then I'll do some immersion a little bit later. But let's see. So I know you're all in on Japanese right now, but how will you decide when you go after another language? Are you committed to Japanese only for the next year or two? I'm not sure. Like, I think it's kind of just one of those things where I'm going to play it out for a while and kind of see what happens. I'm going to consistently assess where I'm at, make sure that mentally I want to be here, because God, I wish I didn't have that weird frump at the beginning of my hair. But I want to make sure that I don't do anything. I want to make sure that I don't do anything that's detrimental. Like if I start getting overly dissatisfied with Japanese, I probably will take a little bit of time away. But as of right now, the way that I see it, for sure to the end of the year. But I will probably do at least a full year of MIA before switching to anything. Now I do occasionally dabble in other stuff once I've got all my Japanese done. Like if I'm just really feeling, because I still do enjoy other cultures and languages, but nothing to take away from my Japanese. Like, and it's not anything where if I haven't like got to a point where I feel good that day, if I feel I need a little more immersion or something like that, I won't not do it. Like Japanese is 100% my main focus right now. So, but I do have. I mean, there are other languages I want to learn. I want to go. I'm not exactly sure in the order, but probably just over the next few years, the 2 languages. Because the thing is like now that I've been doing this, I can see how this works, how learning a language works. Like it's taken me this long, but I'm finally there. Because I mean, 3 months. I've been doing this for 3 months, and that's the longest that I've stuck really with just about anything. And so I kind of have a plan for languages now just based on this, and so I will probably jump into, I don't know if I'm either going to jump into Mandarin or Korean next. I'm leaning towards Korean because I do love Korean, and maybe to give myself a little bit of a break from having to remember, kind of like if I jump into Mandarin, I'd have to remember Hanzu, which I should have kind of an advantage on that from knowing some kanji, and at the time, down the road, we'll see, so... And then I think also, which Zachary Kilburn, I see your question, I'm going to answer that in just a second, but I think the other thing to make note of is that In terms of Japanese, how long I will study it, as of right now, my goal isn't to be mistaken as a native speaker. I would rather study it to a very conversational level. I do want to be good. I don't want to be speaking butchered Japanese, but I do want to be good. But I do think that overall, my goal is to just be conversational but like high level conversational. But I would rather spend the additional time instead of reaching a level of native like fluency or sounding exactly perfect. I would definitely rather study another language. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan right now. So we'll see how it goes. As of right now, I'm fully committed, and I keep getting more and more recommitted and more reassurance every day that I'm doing the right thing. I just had a Skype call with Matt, talked to him about some stuff. Seemed like I'm on the right path, and that's always a motivator. So that's kind of just that's kind of where I'm at. How has your RTK retention gotten better since your last little rant? It has, and what has actually happened is, so I had a conversation with Matt about RTK and some struggles and stuff, and I had posted a picture of like, some of my stats and stuff like that, but he had made mention of, because I do a lot of the reviews on my phone. Now I have on my desktop the MI add-ons and all that stuff to where it's only pass or fail, but on my phones, you still had, like, let me see if I can pull it up. So let's just jump into one. So this right here is chase. Okay, well, that's not a good example. How about this one? This is place. Okay, that's not a good example either. I'm trying to get one that has, okay, here we go. So these right here, where it's got the 3 down at the bottom. So I would do, a lot of times I would do the green. And so I was talking to Matt, and he was like, hey, stop doing that. Do either the fill or the pass, basically the extreme left or the extreme right in terms of like the red or the blue, basically. And so I started doing that, and what I noticed is my retention started going up, and I don't know why exactly, but instead of having it there, like if I remembered it after a minute and I hit that I passed and it didn't show me for another day, it's almost like that was a weird motivational boost, and that I could continue, like, I don't know, I just felt that it helped me remember, and maybe that's part of the SRS system. Maybe that's kind of the idea of how it works in general, is that you don't overstudy, you study just enough, and then you try to look at it right before you'd forget it again. I mean, I guess that's the whole kind of theory behind it. But that has actually helped a lot. My retention rate, well, first and foremost, my retention rate, it looks a lot lower than it is, or like my fail ratio, but a lot of times I will be a little more judgmental of myself than I need to be, which is, whatever. But for example, the ones that I'm concentrating on to make sure that they're good is the mature cards, and my mature cards has a 96.4 correct ratio, and that's 107 out of 111 cards. The young is 65.4, because I do go through several days where it's just an absolute struggle, and then for whatever reason it just clicks. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, the first few days is very brutal, and then it seems to be okay. Learning is super low because I basically never pass a card the first time I see it, and so that's just constantly dwindled down just over the course of me using RTK. But like, I think that the correct learning is 45%, but again, I never, a lot of that being higher is probably from when I first started, and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10, and then like just some of the other cards that I already knew. And I'm not overly concerned about that, because like I said, I fail all of them every single time the first time because I see it, and then I want to go on to another card and make sure that I can kind of remember it, like even just a minute in the future. So what is your biggest disagreement with MIA? What has been the biggest disappointment and biggest surprise in the past 3 months? That's a hard question. I don't necessarily know if I have any disagreements, but I'm also not super far right. Like, there's still a lot of stuff I don't do. I don't do sentence mining. and I probably won't for a little while because I'm going to be doing my Tango decks. And once I finish RTK, that'll clear up 10 Anki, like 10 new items I can do a day, and maybe I'll start then. But I don't do that, so I can't really, like, I know the idea behind sentence mining, and honestly, from what I've seen in the Tango decks, it has been really, really awesome. And I can fully understand why sentence mining works, because there's a lot of cards that I see, like, I'm trying to think of an example, but like, for example, like, I saw a card that was like, Chugoku ni, yeah, right, Vincent? My cat was sneezing. It's like, Chugoku ni oki kojo, kojo ga arimasu, which is like, basically China has big factories, or there's big factories in China. And that's not something like any of those words in particular, which Chugoku, you learn languages pretty quick, like the, like Chinese, like Chugoku, or Chugoku and like Kankoku and like stuff like that, Eigo and stuff like that. But, like the idea of like kojo, which I'm sure that I'm pronouncing that somewhat, kojo, like I'm sure that that's not correct, like, and I understand that, I'm working with that, but there's sentences that, like, I just kind of understand now, and I understand those words based on kind of the context of that sentence. So I fully understand sentence mining. Another one, for example, would be like, kyo wa zagyo arimasu. All right, so I don't know the exact verb ending. I still kind of, even though I know arimasu, or aru and iru, like I said, I know those, but I still struggle with them sometimes. But like basically, like the zagyo is like overtime, like, so like to work overtime. So kyo wa zagyo arimasu, or whatever. Like it's kind of like I work overtime. Like there's a lot of stuff that I know now because of these sentence cards. So I feel like I have a use in that. But anyway, to answer your question, sorry, you know how I get. But there's not anything in particular that I disagree with. There's things that right now don't really seem like to me that I need to focus on it, and I know that that'll probably come back to bite me. But in terms of disagreements, I don't really have any. In terms of the biggest surprise of the 3 months, that is basically, Japanese seems like this really crazy thing, right? It seems so many people will start it and then they don't finish it, right? And because it's this just weird mystiqueness and this weird just stuff, and like I think that doing remember the kanji and specifically learning those primitives, if I see a kanji that I've never seen, I can still break it down into primitives. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that I will know what that means, but it does mean that it doesn't look just like a blur of lines to me. And I think that's kind of the biggest surprise, is even at 3 months in, being able to recognize kanji and see it for what it is versus it just looking like a big random scribbled mess. I think that's probably one of the biggest surprises. And honestly, probably how many words I pick up while watching things. I never really thought that I would pick up a bunch this early on, especially since I just started adding vocabulary within the last week, a little over a week maybe, and I'm still picking up a lot of stuff. I still hear a lot of stuff that my brain is telling me I've recognized, over and over. So I think the biggest surprise would be probably kanji recognition and just the general idea of knowing, like hearing things and knowing it, like not having to translate it. I hear a word and I know exactly what it means. The other thing is, going a bit more on kanji, when I started doing the Tango decks, if I can't read it, I fail it. Even if I understand what's being said, I still fail it. And it's testing on reading, so it pops up, the sentence pops up, right? And so it'd be like, I can't think of another example right off, like in terms of like the weird sentences that they teach, but like, for example, the kanji for like doctor, like isha or something, if that pops up and it's just the word, if I can't read it, then I'm not going to, in particular, like pass it. Or like, for example, there's one that I struggled with, which was like, what is it? Daitai wakarimasen? Like I don't understand, or I think it actually was daitai wakarimasu, which is like I roughly understand, and I had such a hard time reading those characters, and then after a couple of days, it's fine, and realizing I could read stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I can read now without having to have furigana or any kind of help, and that is a huge surprise to me. So hopefully that was not too long of an answer. I get a little bit winded sometimes. I've just focused completely on time and consistency spent studying than the amount I study, and I found that has helped my retention rate. Yeah, so like I go through spells where I try to track how much I've done, and recently I have stopped doing that because like basically I'll do it every week or two, kind of just to make sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing. But as long as I'm finishing my RTK reps, like that's probably 30 to 40 minutes a day. Well, like when I would time it, it would usually be 40-ish minutes. So, 30 or 40 minutes there. And then I'll always try to watch 1 or 2 episodes of something at least. And so I know I'm getting time. And so, but in a week or so, I'll probably start timing myself again just to kind of make sure I'm on the correct path. But like, after getting that first month down, first couple of weeks down, it's been such a huge, like I don't feel the need that I need to track it anymore because I'm dedicated to it. It's I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. How is Anki Mobile? I want to buy it, but I don't want to pay $25. I like it. I use it predominantly on my phone, just in terms of doing reviews and stuff. I've always wanted to do this, like get to my computer, stop wasting time on, on doing things on my phone. But like, I don't know, man, Anki on the phone I think is pretty good. You can add cards and stuff. So like, even if you wanted to add like stuff from the MIA dictionary and stuff like that, you could add the cards on your phone and then sync it and then do it from your desktop. So I think Anki Mobile is really, really good. Do you think that your Korean helped with your learning Japanese? I don't think so, just because I don't know a whole lot of Korean. And I've studied Japanese way before I studied Korean. If anything, the very small amount of Korean that I know was probably influenced by Japanese, if I had to guess. Hi T Cole and everybody, hello, welcome. ¿Qué tal estás? Know any good resources on Dutch? Man, my views on things have changed so much these last 3 months. Like, my general advice for any kind of resources is just watch TV, watch YouTube videos, watch stuff like that. That's helped. Like, I don't necessarily want to get into it, but like, the whole idea. Why is my camera blurry? Chill out, dude. Come on. There you go. The idea of comprehensible versus incomprehensible input and all that nonsense. But like, man, watching Japanese programming has helped me more than probably anything. And like, hearing these words in the Tango decks and having my hearing kind of being fine-tuned and hearing them in the wild, I think has been really, really, really beneficial. I want to study Korean after, but I think I'll do it in Japanese. Good luck with that. Hopefully that goes well for you. That would ultimately, I would love that. I don't know if, I don't know. We'll see where I get. I don't know if I'd get to that level or not. Like, I would love to, but man, I do think that if you know Japanese, I mean, studying Korean would be easier just because of how similar the grammar and stuff is. So, that would be super cool. I'd really, really be interested to see that. That was a question for Cole. You should try the new Finnish course on Duolingo. I saw somebody. I don't remember who it was. I saw somebody tweet, or maybe it was on Instagram. I saw somebody talk about it, and I thought, oh, that looks cool. But the problem, like, I've not loaded Duolingo since sometime in March, and like, everybody loves the streak, right? How many days of Duolingo have I done in a row? But I really actually like the streak I'm on, where I haven't used it in 3 months. Like, I really like that streak. I don't know. Maybe I will, just for making a video or something like that. But because I'm not as inclined to dabble as much as I used to, because like doing this method, like, I eat, sleep, and breathe Japanese, and I love it. So I don't even think I would be influenced to try and study something more so regular or long term. But I don't know. I like the streak I'm on. I love that I haven't used Duolingo in almost 3 months. And I want to keep. I want to have the longest streak for not using it for people who have used it in the past. Obviously, there's people who never used it, but I don't know. This is kind of where I'm at right now. Why are you so interested in Afrikaans? Why not straight to the source Dutch? Great question. I don't really have an answer to that. I wish I did. I just have an interest in, like, it's kind of like when I was talking to, who was I talking to the other day? I can't remember who I was talking to about this. It might have been Shane when I was interviewing Word of Shane. And then I know I talked to Matt about it too. I can't remember, but either with Shane or with Matt, I remember talking about Kantaro, the Sweet Tooth Salaryman, which I've mentioned multiple times on here. And it's kind of exactly that same thing, right? Like, I have no clue why I love that as much as I do, but I definitely love that show, and that's kind of where I am with Afrikaans. I can't tell you why. Obviously, I was influenced by Lindy. I consider Lindy a good friend, and I got into it originally because I was like, she's done a lot of great things for me, so I want to kind of give back. But then it kind of just actually turned into something that I really loved. So headband, yeah. So for anybody new, I said this at the beginning. My hair, I'm growing my hair out. I usually have long hair, and then I go through phases where I cut it. And just right now, it's right at the point where it's right in my eyes. And usually once it gets here, I start rocking a headband. I don't care. I rock headbands. I always have and I always will. Like, and I know, like, people are always like, couldn't you just cut your hair? But, like, that's not the point. I love long hair. So, yeah, man, I rock headbands, and I do not care. I love them. Is it true that Moses used or still puts in 15+ hours a day in languages? Is it possible to maintain such a hard training day? I don't know. I know that, I haven't spoke to Moses, unfortunately, in a little while, but there for a while, his schedule was, I know, at least 8 hours a day of classes and then whatever else he would put on top of that. Is it possible to maintain such hard language training every day? I think it depends. Moses is a very motivated person. I think that... I think that for him, I think that is possible. There's my dryer. It'll do that again in a second. But I think that, I don't know. I think it depends on your goals. For me, I couldn't. There's no way that I could. But you also have to understand Moses is a businessman, and he runs a business where he has the ability to study that long. Like, I don't even have that many hours in my day free. So I think, I think it just depends. I have the hiccups really bad. Sorry. I think it depends on, your own motivation. I mean, I think it comes down to you. I know I couldn't, so there'd be no point to do that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. And I also think it depends on what level you want to get to. Obviously, if you're studying, whatever it was, 6 or 7 languages at the same time, I mean, if you put all that into one language, you would just learn that language way faster. Can't see Bluebird on Google Store. Is it gone? That's a good question. Which I don't have Google Store. I have Apple, but I can tell you if it's still there for Apple. Like, I have the app on my phone, but I can tell you if... Let me go to the store and see if it's there. Because, God, my dryer's so loud. Where the heck is... Yeah, there's Bluebird. Bluebird's there. Let me see what happens when I open Bluebird. Okay, yep, Bluebird is still here. Let me look on the store now, though, because it could be one of those Flappy Bird situations where people who had it downloaded could still use it, but you couldn't download it anymore. Bluebird. Ooh, whoa, yeah, it's Bluebird languages. Nope, there it is. It's on the Apple Store. Bump. So I'm not sure. I don't know why it's not on the... Google Play. Google, whatever it's called, Google Store. I vibe with the headband. Heck yeah, man. Maybe that'll be a staple of my channel, is headband gang. Do you do anything outside of watching movies to practice the language? Like, for example, I'm watching Crocheting tutorials in Spanish to get some actual real use out of it. I well, I mean, I watch YouTube videos, but not any kind of like tutorial. Well, the only thing I do watch, so I watch a lot of magic videos on YouTube because like I used to do sleight of hand like card magic and coin magic and stuff. And so I'll watch some of that stuff, like people explaining it, and from where I understand a lot of magic terminology and know kind of what they're doing, I think that kind of helps. But that's about it outside of like TV shows. But that's a good idea though, watching like tutorials and stuff. Well, there's another channel that I watch, and I'm not even like a vegan or anything, but there's a channel called Tokyo Veg Life that is a woman cooking like vegan foods and stuff. I will watch that from time to time. So just for like, I don't know, just hearing additional information and people being what am I looking for here? Oh my god, dude. I've been in such Japanese mode. Like this happened the last 2 times I've streamed. Like I've been so heavy in the Japanese right before I stream that my brain forgets some of the words I'm trying to say. Dude, I have no clue the word I'm looking for. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Is just I watch. I need to get, honestly, I would like to speak with you again about just different tips for getting like quote unquote real use out of the language. I think that's a good question. I think a beginner should ease into long hours because burnout is easy once you hit an intermediate level. Yeah, that's exactly why I set my goal at an hour a day because I think that's attainable. Anything extra is just motivation, right? Oh my god, I did an hour and a half. But if I set for 2 hours, if my goal is 2 hours and I only hit an hour and a half, then oh man, I came up short. It's the same amount of time, but the mentality changes your entire outlook on it. And building that healthy mentality is what continues to get you, through the humps. Once you hit an intermediate, yeah. Have you seen Professor Argyle's Day of Studying video? That video is so many. I have not. I will look that up. What's been your surprise TV series you and the wife watched together? What's up, Harry? Thanks for coming over, man. I know this isn't on my quote unquote main channel, but this is my main channel now. But thanks for coming over here, man. Surprise TV show. Well, the only thing that we've really been watching is we finished Will and Grace. We finished that before. I think we finished that after quarantine started. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure. Man, maybe not though. But anyway, right now we're watching Community and Who's the Boss. I guess my shock or favorite would be Who's the Boss, because like I never watched that growing up at all. It was on Nick at Night and all that stuff every time you turn the TV on, but I literally had never seen a second of that TV show. And then we watched an episode of Community, and Abed goes to a class, and he's like, the professor is like dedicated his entire life to finding out who the boss is on Who's the Boss. And Tracy was like, oh, have you ever watched that? And I was like, nah. And so we started, and I think the surprise is just how much I love it, which I love Tony Danza, but I guess if I had to say, because I knew I'd love Community, but Who's the Boss has been a surprise for sure. Would you be able to have small convos in Japanese yet? Probably not. I can say a couple of things, but nothing at all. Like I can tell you that what can I say? Kanji o renshu shimasu. I need to, or I practice kanji, or like just various things, but I can't. I for sure can't have like a conversation. That's for sure. What's your favorite thing about interviewing other language learners? What has been the most impactful insight that you have gained? Ooh. I think my favorite thing is just you can always take something from anyone. You can always take I feel like everybody has some sort of valuable information, right? there's like, I feel like everybody has something to bring to the table, and I think that I think that's probably my favorite thing about interviewing other language learners is just, even all the people that I interview doing MIA or whatever, like everybody has a different unique look on it, right? Like nobody's exactly like Matt, who's not exactly like the Japan Code, who's not like Jordan, who's not like Tokyo the Mad Ajatter, who's not like Kinuku Ninja, who's not like all these guys. Like they all do it differently, and I think that's what's cool is taking and Chris, and all these people that do it differently. And I think that it just kind of, I think it kind of eases people into, if I don't follow this exactly, but I follow the core principle, then I should be good. Like as long as I follow the core principle, you know what? I mean, like I know that it would be considered like not good in the MIA community, but if you want to do a chapter of Genki, do it, and then just do the other core principles of MIA, your immersion and stuff like that. And I think it's fine. I think that's been one of the cool things. What has been the most impactful insight that you've gained? This is not question related, but one thing I've been thinking about lately is, to some, YouTube is a business, and unless they can turn what you are asking them to do into a direct money line for them, they have no interest, right? I've reached out to a couple of people who this is very much a business to them. I don't know if it's about fun or not. It's very much a business, and they've not responded, which is very frustrating because I've even worked with and helped out some of them, which is very frustrating that I've helped them and they don't want to work back. But I've talked to people of all sizes. I've talked to people without YouTube channels. I've talked to smaller YouTube channels than me. I've talked to bigger YouTube channels than me. I've talked to huge YouTube channels. I guess the three biggest being Matt and Lindy and Go Billy Korean. And all those people are perfectly fine talking. And then I reach out to somebody with, say, 30,000 subscribers, which, 30,000 is a lot, but it's not more than those people. But it's very much a business, right? Every second away, they're not peddling their books or peddling their get rich quick schemes in language learning. They're losing a dime. And so I think the most insightful thing is just finding out kind of who the genuine language community is, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. I don't want to say any names. I'm not trying to like put anybody on blast, but there's just a couple of frustrating things. What's been your favorite thing? Israel or Palestine? I have no idea. I only vaguely know of anything about that. Lindy's very charismatic. Because of her, I think I'm thinking about taking up Chinese for real. Do it. I don't see any problem with that. I think that's perfectly fine. And she has a lot of really, really good tips and tricks on it too. So do that. And I tell you what, man, like I watch people who speak Chinese, and it really it's motivating, right? Whether you love him or hate him, Shalma does his videos, and seeing him speak in Chinese is great, or seeing Matt do his Japanese interviews. Or I watched a video the other day or yesterday actually, Days of French and Swedish. Lamont interviewed Steve Kaufman, and just at the end of it, boom, he just started speaking Swedish, and they had a 10-minute little interview in Swedish. And seeing that kind of stuff is fantastic and motivating. So find whatever language that you're learning and just go watch people speak it, man. It will motivate you, in my opinion, anyway. Commercialization of language has always bewildered me. Yeah, people make a business out of anything. I'm pretty disappointed in some people, for sure. I don't mind making money, whatever. Like, I get it, you have to eat and stuff, but like, again, man, the fact that like I've helped people, not like gain followings, but I've done work for people, and they won't even answer. They won't even give me a courtesy decline. They'll read the message and then they won't even respond to it. And that's frustrating. And I'm waiting for, as my channel continues to get bigger, I'm waiting for them to reach back out, right? Like, oh, he's starting to get bigger. Maybe I should reach out to him. So I'm anxious to see, in the words of Michael Scott, how the turn tables, but we'll see how that goes. What is your main goals with Japanese by the end of 2020? I guess just a better understanding. of what I'm watching. Like obviously I do want to speak, and again I've said it before. I'll probably be the black sheep of the bunch, or the I don't know. I don't even know what's politically correct anymore. Whatever is black sheep not okay? I don't know. I never know what to say anymore. But like the I will be the bad MIA-er, because I will probably start outputting way earlier than what a lot of people did. Because I do want to, like, to me, like in a weird way, like output actually helps the information stick in. Like if I wasn't outputting when I was reading these Tango decks and I saw like the Chugoku ni Kojo ga arimasu, right? Like there's large factories in China, whatever, right? Like I probably wouldn't have stuck in my head. So that's helped me a lot. So I do want to start outputting, but I think if I can get my understanding to, man, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say, because I don't know what's realistic. Like, I mean, is by the end of the year 6 months? So we've got half a year left, right? Half a year. Can I get to where I understand 50% of the Japanese spoken to me? I don't know. I don't know what a realistic goal. I just want to have a better understanding. Like I think if I could watch something and even understand 10%, I would be happy. So, and I know that as you study, it gets easier, right? Like there's this curve. I don't know which way this is coming on the screen to you guys. This may look backwards, but for me, like you're going right, and as you start to learn, it kind of does this. But the more that you learn, it starts ramping up quicker. So I know that that's going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see. I think just having a better understanding in terms of like understanding what is being spoken to me, whether it's TV shows or whatever. I think that's my main focus, or goal, I should say. Goals. How often do you study per day? I usually try to get about an hour of immersion, if not a little bit more, and then between 30 and 40 minutes on Anki. And then I've actually slacked on Bunpo. I need to do a little bit more of that for my like grammar reviews and stuff. But yeah, that's just the that's it. Usually coming in right around 2 hours is how much I study per day, and that seems to be pretty good. Because again, I could study more, but again, when I come home, I'm not putting anything in front of my son. Like I will not do anything until he goes to bed. And stuff like that. So it's just I think that's what I like about the system is you can make it work for yourself. You can make it work for you. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I have been here since the Korean days. Yeah, I was studying Korean hardcore for a little bit. I was live streaming those Lingo Deer lessons, and that's what ultimately turned me back to Japanese. Is I was like, I already know all this crap in Japanese. Why am I doing this again? But obviously, once I get there, once I get to a level of comfort in Japanese, I don't know what that is. I say that all the time, but what is that? I think I'll know when it hits. But once I get there, I'll probably, like I said, as of right now, my goal is to go back to Korean, especially after talking with Billy. I really like the way that he puts his videos together on YouTube. Like, I really wish that there was a Billy for Japanese, which I mentioned in the podcast with him, but or the show, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean it's Korean is something that I really enjoy, so I will go back to it at some point. Hello, the Larry, welcome. What is your opinion on people who have a concussion and end up waking up speaking another language fluently? I've seen people go under like anesthesia and wake up and doing that. I don't see why that's I don't see why that couldn't be real. My only frame of reference for that is Lindy, and I know Lindy is a very genuine person. So I fully believe it. I don't have any experience with that, but I mean, if the language is in there, and if you've truly acquired the language, right? Not if you've kind of learned it, or you've kind of, not if you've only just kind of, you can translate it in your head if you need to, but if you truly acquired it, I don't see why you wouldn't wake up and speak it, because it's part of your brain, right? I had a convert when I spoke with Matt on Skype the other day. We were talking about just in your brain, and like there's like, if you truly have acquired this language, like there's always this internal struggle, like each language almost fighting for, you know, again, not if you're translating, but if you've truly acquired it, like it's like your brain is kind of fighting which one is superior because you've obtained the language. So I mean, I definitely think it's possible. Is it wise to study multiple languages at once, or is it always better to study one even if you don't want to reach fluency because you can reach whatever level you want faster? I'm not one to talk about it because like I have the worst stuff up until about the last 3 months. I've had the worst study patterns and habits ever. What I will say is, if you want to watch a really cool video on it, Matt has one about Matt vs. Japan on studying 2 languages at once, and he talks about how there's this idea, and I think he might even throw some statistical information in there about how if you start one, right, and you're like, okay, I want to learn for 2 years Spanish and 2 years German, and you would become really, really good. Well, if you're, because the idea, again, like I just said, you know, you're as you start to become more familiar with it, your learning increases rapidly, but you're slowing that down if you're studying 2 languages. So, you know, especially if you're splitting time. So instead of learning it in 4 years, even if you're learning them at the same time, it may take you 6 or 7 years to learn the same video. The same video? I saw somebody say that's Matt's video. That's why I said video, but the same amount of languages. Yeah, that's what I was. Matt vs. Japan. Yeah, he has that video. Did you ever read the One Punch Man manga? I have not. I've never. Manga is something like I still struggle with it. I have some manga over there, but you know, I'm subscribed to Chad Zimmerman's manga club, where I get 4 books in the mail a month, and it's a really cool idea. And I keep having this weird thing about, oh, I'm gonna get into manga, but I've just never ever been into manga, and I try, but it's just no going, right? Like. And to me, I understand, right? Because everybody loves manga, or seems to. Most people learning Japanese love manga, and I just don't get it. But I assume it's probably like when people are like, "Oh man, what is your favorite part about learning Japanese?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I can watch, you know, a Misawa match from back in 1994 in wrestling and be able to understand what the commentators are saying." It's probably like the same thing, you know, like I'm trying to preach it to people who just don't understand. I just can't get into manga, man. And I've never seen the movies or anything like that, so. I remember watching you when you had like 500 subs, and I didn't know how to tell you what you were doing was a waste of time without being rude. It's YouTube, man. I've been doing YouTube. I have another channel that I started in 2015, which this channel is about to be bigger than, which is really cool. That channel has 1544 subscribers, and this one's about to hit 15. I've had my fair share of rude and mean comments, so you can say whatever you want. It's not really gonna. It wouldn't have affected me because I've been especially like someone who's been overweight for most of their life. Like I've heard. I know that that's not what you're talking about exactly, but like, man, I've heard so much stuff. It's hard to get to me. I'm setting a different. Where am I at? I'm setting a different time frame for my languages, but focusing on one at a time. But ultimately, Japanese is the one I want to master, while everything else I'm fine with being conversational in. Yeah, you can always follow. Gabriel Silva taught me the 80-20 principle, which is study your main language 80% of the time. Study a second language 20% of the time. That way you're still dominating your language studies with the one language. Which mine is more like 98-2, like, because I realistically need to spend more time with Afrikaans, but Afrikaans is a dabble language, and even though I do love it, I really want to, I just want to get better in Japanese, but I want to speak a little bit of that, and that's where I'm at with Afrikaans, right? I just want to be a little bit conversational, maybe dabble, have a little conversation here or there, so. Immersion learning requires a ton of trust in the process. I feel like 0 to 75% comprehension all felt like, what the heck is happening? And only then did progress feel real. For sure. And that's what well, I don't know if he's going to do it. I had a conversation with Matt about this two days ago. And I don't know. He may end up doing something with it, so I don't want to say anything if he is. because he had talked about possibly setting up. Well, I don't know. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm way more important than I am, because I'm not. But like, because the way it seemed to me is like possibly like, man, maybe I'll run like, just knocked a bag on the floor. Maybe I'll run like a test group or something. But basically, I had made mention of him of it being a trust process, and kind of like, for me, for example, like if I could have seen where my brain would have been at in 2 weeks of just trusting the process, I would have started it a long time ago. But we'll see. No lie detected. Yes, true. Hi from Colombia. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Keep being awesome. Me? Or somebody else? If it's me, thank you. I will try. Greetings from Egypt. Are you learning Spanish these days? And have you tried Wanikani for kanji? Welcome. Egyptian Arabic is something I do want to learn at some point in my life. Are you learning Spanish these days? I'm not actively learning Spanish, but I do try to at least immerse, not in a sense of how I'm immersing with Japanese, but I do try to get some sort of native content in Spanish a day, just to try and knock some of the rust off. But I'm not actively studying it. Have I tried Wanikani? I have. I didn't try it enough. So I know there's this big love-hate relationship with Wanikani, and I think there's a lot of information. I think in the long term, if you could stick with Wanikani, I think it would be great. I think the problem is you get in there and they show you a character, and then they show you the 19 pronunciations for it, and then they quiz you on that. That's my big turnoff. That's where I was like, all right, I'm out, because I don't know. And then it started creating that negative habit, right? This negative relation with the language, with the software or program, whatever. And I was like anytime that I was not looking forward to it, or when I would get stuff wrong or whatever, I was like, it just, ugh. See, like with Anki, I control whether I'm right or wrong, but even then it's not that big of a deal, because I click it, I don't fail. Like, it's not a fail, right? I don't fail. I don't get a strike. I don't miss it. It's not like, oh, you're an idiot, or it's not like Duolingo where you lose a heart or anything like that. Just boom, okay, cool, we'll show it to you again in 10 minutes. We'll see if you maybe remember it a little bit better. And so that's, I don't know, I think that's why that's working for me, is because it takes the possibility. I mean, I know some people get negative about Anki, but like for me, it takes out the negative, kind of that negative connotation that a lot of stuff that I've dealt with in the past has. Are you considering on moving to Japan one day so you and your kid can go to school together and be fluent in Japanese? I would love to move to Japan, but I don't think my wife has any interest in that, so I'll probably be in the United States until I die. Saludos. I just got here, so I'm not sure if you answered this already or not, but when you're doing immersion with a new anime, how do you approach it? I don't watch anime. I don't really watch anime. I've watched some, but not a lot. But I can tell you what I do for dramas. Like, for the most part, I just watch it as a native would watch it. I don't watch it with subtitles, or I assume a native would watch it. I don't watch it with subtitles. I just watch it. I try to listen as hard as I can, and then I just watch it. The only thing that's been different for me is on the Kentaro, the Sweet Tooth Salaryman. I did have the subtitles on, but not in English. I had them on in Japanese, and that was just to see if I could pick up a few extra words by having the script in front. I didn't pause it or anything. I just let it go. If I recognize the kanji, cool. If not, whatever. But generally, I don't watch it like that. I did watch that because, like, you know, again, last Tuesday when I was talking to Matt, I was talking about how I struggle. Like, I keep saying I want to read. I want to read. That's what I want to do. But I can't. I try and 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 I just... Reading is not interesting to me. And obviously I need to learn to read because, for example, even just looking around my kitchen, I see letters everywhere, whether it's spring water or, whatever it may be. Just something on my fridge about a date or cereal boxes with a name. Like, you need to read. And so that's why I wanted to. But doing the subtitle thing is kind of training me to read without reading, if that makes any sense at all. It may not, but that's kind of how I approach it. Hopefully that can help you. Hearing how much my brain is understanding what sentences are made up of, even if I only pick up a word here and there, is extremely motivating. Yes, the first time that I was watching something and I heard something and I kind of understood the context of what was going on, and I know exactly what it was. It was the Mario Maker video and that girl saying Nagaru over and over and over. And I knew what it was. Like, I had never heard it before, or at least I didn't think I'd ever heard it before. But seeing it in context and hearing her say it, I knew. I did look it up to verify. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think anybody said any Nazi-like things. I don't know what that's about. But like, I think, what am I talking about here? Hold on. Oh, being motivating, right? So seeing that, like, it really did motivate me, right? Because I didn't study a flashcard for it or anything, and I just knew it, and that was just from constant repetition of watching. You know what I mean? And that is very, very motivating. Gracias. Is it still possible to create a language channel like Moses and be great like him and other language channel, or is it is dying? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people doing what Moses does. Like, Shalma is doing it. There's a channel called Oriental Pearl. And there is, just a few other things like that. And so people are doing it. I think Moses is, he's been around for so long, though. He's kind of like the godfather of it. You know what I mean? Like, he probably didn't invent what he does, but he's kind of who made it popular, and now other people are doing it. So I think other people could. I think if you're in the situation where you can, sure, go for it. There's aspects I like of Moses's videos, and there's aspects like, for example, I like that Shalma generally has the camera out to where you can see him, and then kind of, just kind of like I feel like it's an ever evolving media. Like it's an ever evolving thing where it's just constantly people taking it to the next level, right? And I think that there's definitely a market for that. So will it be something I ever do? I don't know. I've always wanted to, but I can't. I don't know. I can't say that I will, because I always have this weird fear of speaking in public or speaking to people, right? I always get this idea in my head, like, oh man, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to speak some of this, right? Like the thing I talked about in the why I switched to immersion-based learning with going to, oh man, I learned some Chinese. Let's go speak some Chinese, or let's go speak some Spanish. But I have a weird time pulling the trigger on speaking to people. It's really, really weird. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. But I definitely don't think it's a bad problem, or I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it can be done, and I think other people can do it. Do you think the fluency levels are dumb? Because C1 and C2 are mostly made up of words nobody uses in their mother language. I don't necessarily think they're dumb. I do think that they might be a little overrated, because by technicality, I am a B1 Spanish speaker, but I'm not a B1 Spanish speaker. So I think the problem with the CEFR levels and all that stuff is that that's kind of designed around like test taking mentality, and you can study to take a test and pass and not know anything at all. Like realistically, I might struggle with it, but there's a chance I could probably take a Japanese N5 test right now and probably pass it. Probably not the speaking portions, probably not the listening portions, but a lot of that beginner stuff is stuff that I know. Watashi wa America ga karakimasu. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, it's just whatever. Let me see. Would you ever read us another Japanese story like last time? Man, I don't know. I struggled so much with that. I don't know if I would or not. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe down the road. I don't know. It's possible, but maybe. We'll say maybe for now. Do you have any passive immersion recommendations you enjoy? Actually, what I watch is so the guy that I watch play Animal Crossing, Masuo Games. I just turn on to his. I turn his videos on. I go to his playlist and I just start at the beginning, and I'll just play, and I'll play it on repeat until I finish all how many ever videos, which I've not done yet, but that's what my plan is. And I'll just listen to that, or I'll listen to the girl that I watch play Animal Crossing. I'll watch her. I have a playlist of TED Talks in Japanese, and so I'll listen to those. It's not really anything like it's kind of all over the place. I do listen to music from time to time because I enjoy music and stuff and whatnot. So it's not really anything specific. I don't do. I know that's a big thing in languages is like podcasts. Listen to podcasts, but there's not really anything that I've found so far, and I think it's because I don't understand it. And if it's something I don't understand, then it doesn't really matter what it is. And so the reason that I choose like Masuo Games and stuff like that for the most part is because from where I have watched his videos, I may hear him something that I've heard him say before, or something like that, and maybe it's just enough to just really kind of maybe I'll hear something that I've heard him say before and it just sticks this time or something like that. So I'll listen to a lot of content that I've already watched. I'll probably start listening to Kantaro the Sweet Tooth Salaryman because my goal with that is I'm going to watch it again. I may watch it actually with English subtitles, which I've not done once since I started MIA, but to have a better understanding of what the show is about. That way I can piece together things or whatever, know the dialogue and stuff. But I'll probably end up downloading the subtitle files, and I'll probably download the subtitles, and I will probably almost study those. But I'll probably read those to try and okay, here he says this, here he says this. So that's my general plan, which kind of got out of the realm of passive listening, but and I don't do a ton, right? I don't do like 6 or 8 hours a day. Like I do usually 2 or 3, because again, I'm a very I think the biggest thing for me is there's a lot of stuff I enjoy, and there's a lot of American music or English music, whatever you want to call it, that I enjoy. And so I want to listen to that, just like I want to continue to do these streams, and I want to continue to do watch stuff that I love watching regularly. Sports aren't on right now, but I love pro wrestling, so I'll watch. AEW does a show every Wednesday. I'm going to watch that, or stuff like that. And I think doing it the way that I'm doing it, where I'm having fun, really, really enjoying it, but I'm also still enjoying the stuff that I enjoy in my own native language. Like I think that's it's kind of keeping me. I think that's part of what is keeping me going. You know what I mean? If you had 10 hours a day to study Japanese or any other language, you think you could reach a B2 or C1 in a year? Yeah. I mean, I think especially it depends on how close it is to your native language. I think if I studied Spanish, I think that I would be able to. I think I could do it with Spanish or something, but I don't know about Japanese, maybe, but. I mean, I don't really know, man. Like I said earlier, the whole CEFR scale is kind of hard to gauge because you could, I don't know, because C1 is essentially near native. feel like something was on my leg. Is like near like native, like I guess like patterns of speech and stuff. So I don't know. I think for a language like Japanese, if you're an English speaker, or Korean and you're an English speaker, I think it would be a lot harder. But I mean, you know, maybe. I think I maybe. If Spanish were like, honestly, probably a language like Swedish, like languages that don't have like a lot of verb conjugations, like, because I know like in Swedish it's conjugated the same for every pronoun. So I think I could probably do it in a language like that. Man, 10 hours a day, that would be awesome. Have you thought about changing your phone to Japanese yet? I have. Ultimately, why I have decided against it as of right now is because strangely, I had this exact question on the day that Matt answered it in one of his Patreon Q&As. And basically he was like, you know, at the end of the day, if you're spending hours of study and you take, you know, even 6 months from now, the person whose phone is in Japanese isn't necessarily going to be better at Japanese outside of maybe recognizing a few extra kanji characters. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. Like, and I think a lot of the reason we put our phones in other languages is because, like, I think a lot of people want people to be impressed with what they're doing. They want people to be impressed with learning and stuff like that. And I'm not saying everybody does that, but like, there's like a weird rooted thing there, right? Like, I would love for somebody to pick my phone up and be like, this is in Japanese, I don't know what's going on, and for me to be like, oh, cool, boom, 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 there you go. You know, if they're trying to look for something or something like that. But I don't know. It's not something that I've done just yet, but possibly. I think honestly, once I do get a better understanding of the language, I probably will. I just didn't want to kind of go into this fight or flight mode. Fight or flight mode. Just yet. I wanted to get a little more comfortable. Like, I can read the dates and stuff like that, and the time, like, which I know is a lot of Romaji, but like, or, you know, English characters or like the numbers or whatever. But like, I know the symbol for year, the symbol for month, and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I might do it at some point, just not just yet. What do you think about the whole sleeping on the floor thing? I'm not sure if I'm ready to give up my bed. What? I don't know what that is. As a poor person for the most of my life, I think it's a dumb idea. I don't know. I can't tell if I'm being trolled right now or not. Is that supposed to be a thing? I don't know. I used to sleep on my floor in my first apartment, just because I'd fall asleep. What's that about sleeping on the floor? Yes, that's what I want to know. I don't think I've seen this person. Oh, no, yeah, you've asked a question. I don't know. Yeah, what's the deal with sleeping on the floor? Please tell me. I'm very confused. I'm very anxious to know. Is this like a similar thing to the cold showers that Lamont did from Days of French and Swedish? Where he was like, I took cold showers for a month, but then like I was fine afterwards. Like, I realized that if I could do that, nothing else was going to be that big of a hassle. I made a video in 2011 where I say I sleep on the floor to be like a Japanese person. He's trolling you. Okay, so he's trolling me. I have not seen that video. But okay, fair enough. If you want me to do an experiment, I will sleep on the floor. But yeah, that's hilarious. I did not know that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go watch Matt's video on that here in a little bit because I'm anxious to see. Funny note: a lot of people here in Egypt are bilingual. We can speak English. We switch over phones, browsers, etc. in English. But when it comes to ATM machines, for some reason, we always select Arabic. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Matt and Katsumoto have both mentioned sleeping on the floor for slash futon for immersion since it's part of Japanese culture. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've seen a decent share of Matt's videos, new and old, but I definitely missed that one. You think taking cold shower helps learning languages faster? I know that Lamont did something like that, but I think his was more of a thing where he's saying, if I can do this, then there's no reason I can't do, like, forcing yourself to go through that torment versus like studying a language X amount of hours. I need to honestly watch that video because I love Lamont and what he does, but yeah, I definitely need to Definitely need to watch that. I don't think that was the point of that video. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm wrong, but who knows? Yeah, maybe I'll go watch that here in a little bit. So what do we got? 64 minutes. Probably stream for just a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna jump off here and do some immersion and stuff. Always remember to eat cake with chopsticks. I do remember that. I know what you're talking about there. I think comfort matters more than any language. I mean, comfort's definitely a huge deal. I did sleep on the floor. Like I said, my first apartment, I moved out of my house when I was 17. And my first apartment, I had, like, you know, my TV and stuff was in my living room. It was a very small apartment. I had, like, 7 things in it. And, like, I would sleep on the floor. I've always heard sleeping on the floor is good for your back, but I don't know, because I know a lot of people say that their back feels worse. But I'm wondering if it's feeling worse before it feels better. Kind of like you work out, right? And like the next day or the day after, you are always like incredibly sore and it feels like terrible, but that's just because your muscles are strengthening. So I'm wondering if it's something like that. I don't really know. I know that I wake up every day feeling like meh. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do that. I might sleep on the floor. My wife probably wouldn't be happy, but I might sleep on the floor. I ate a White Castle burger with chopsticks earlier, really feeling the immersion. I appreciate your trolls. It makes me happy. I've only had White Castle once. We have Crystals. Actually, it closed down. There was a Crystals near where I lived, but it closed down. I've ate at White Castle once. I had to go to... I live in Virginia. I had to drive to Clark's Burger, Clarksville, Tennessee. And you pass a White Castle on the way, and I stopped, and it ruled. Have you ever tried eating steak with chopsticks to look more Japanese to others? I've never done that to look Japanese to others, but when my friend Evan came in from Japan, he made a bunch of stuff like that, and I did eat with chopsticks. I didn't find it to be like a hassle or anything. It wasn't for immersion though, but. Matt, have you ever slept on the floor? Did you find yourself closer to Japanese culture doing that? Yeah, I need to go watch Matt's video. I'm gonna go look for that right now. I'm not gonna watch it on stream, but I'm gonna see YouTube. Let me see, Matt versus Japan floor. Okay, I'm assuming it's in the giant Q&A. That's the first video that pops. We'll see. We will see. Cool. Let's see. People are describing super weeb-tastic behaviors. No, it's pointless. It's pointless. All right, Matt said it's pointless. What's your blood type? We need to know to immerse. My stream has dwindled down into nothing. I think this might be a good time to get off because we're dwindling into madness here. Maybe this is the greater powers telling me that it's time to immerse. Are you enjoying Link for reading Japanese? I don't use it much. Again, not to sound like a broken record, I had this exact conversation with Matt on Tuesday about Link, and I just don't use it as much. And it's because of reading. Like, I just can't get it. Like, I cannot. My reading is going to have to come from subtitles. Like, I'm just going to have to, if I want to read for 15 minutes a day, I'm going to watch a 15-minute show and read the subtitles. No problem. What have I done? I don't know. You've taken the stream into a fun direction. It's been a fun troll. At least it's not like a super mean. I was being serious about the burger. There's nothing wrong with that. I like some White Castle. I don't really find using chopsticks overly hard though. I never have. It sounded like a cool and different and healthy. Sounded like okay. Do you encourage or wish that your child speak another language besides English? I do wish and I do encourage, but if he is going to grow up and not care, I'm not going to force that on him. I would love for him to become like my language buddy and us just like spend hours studying languages together, but you know, who knows if that's something he wants to do, and I'm not going to push that on him. I'm not going to push whatever he wants to do is what we'll do, so I'm doing subtitles right now, and it's good. Oh, for reading? Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the best option for me. just because I struggled so much. Have you ever squeezed your eyes to make you Japanese to others? No. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get past the reading stuff, but right now is not that day. Right now is not that time. So, however, if anybody has any final questions, let me know. I'm going to start wrapping up here because I am going to jump off here and do some immersion, of course. And then I should get some decent immersion time in the next couple of days, which I'm really, really excited about. Where are we at here? I'm watching Pokemon, easy children's show, and frequent kanji and furigana in the show too. Yeah, honestly, I've had a spiked interest in Pokemon recently because of Kinuku Ninja. I know he loves Pokemon, and he's like such a super awesome dude. And I'm like, you know what? If he loves Pokemon that much, it must be super awesome because he's an awesome dude. So, you know, I think, you know what? When I end this, I'm wondering, is Pokemon on like Netflix or something? I might watch an episode of Pokemon just to see what's going on. Will you ever change your name to a Japanese one? I mean, I don't think that you change it. I think that like people in that culture like designate a name for you. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's like I don't think that you just assign your I don't think that you just assign your name. Like I don't think that you're just like, all right, I'm this guy, but I don't know. You think Pokemon Go will help Japanese learners immerse? I mean, if it's in Japanese, I guess. Pokemon is super easy to read. I'm going to go watch Yu Yu Hakusho. Go for it, do it. Why do you think people in the States don't speak Spanish even though they learn it at school and have a large Hispanic community? I think a lot of it is because people feel pressured to learn it. And it's like one of those things where the reason I never learned Spanish is because up to the points when I had is because I felt like I felt like it was my civic duty, right? Like I felt like I had to. Which backfired. I think if they would approach it in a different manner, I think it would be cool. You know, there's a lot of people that get really offended by that idea of Spanish, but like America is one of the few countries that don't have an official language, which obviously a large portion of the population would argue it's English, but there's nowhere anywhere that states we have an official language. We speak English here, but it's not anywhere that's official, so I don't know. But, you know, just a weird thing. But I think that they could do better just by trying to make it a little bit more so fun and like not making it feel like you absolutely 100% have to learn Spanish. It's in English on Netflix. There are also sites you can catch it in Japanese. Okay, gotcha. That's do they not have? I'm gonna check. I wonder if they have the original audio because I know like there's some weird stuff. Like I know Death Note, for example, only has Spanish subtitles and not they don't have Japanese subtitles, which is really strange because I did try to look at that in the beginning because I was going to use it for that learn languages with Netflix web browser add-on. But yeah, it's just in Spanish for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Subs. Oh, and yeah, I like if subs are on, I generally my eyes gravitate towards them. I can't not look at them. It's just a weird thing. So, any advice to get better at the speaking part? I mean, I know what to say, but I'm very shy and stuff and can't speak properly. I think just practice on that. I mean, I can't fully speak on that just because I'm not to a point of 32 states in English in the U.S. have given English official status. I wasn't aware of that. But I think just practice, you know, just practicing the output. Find a native speaker and just practice with them. The Netflix movie A Whisker Away looks cute. You guys see it? Have not seen that. I learned Spanish for 6 years in school and walked out remembering nothing. I think part of that was because the American school system revolves around grades, and other part because I hated my teachers. That's definitely not good. The problem with Spanish is that there are too many misconceptions about the Hispanic people and the Hispanic culture in the United States, most of them negative. I think that varies depending on who you're talking to. MMA Brotherhood on Netflix had Japanese audio but not Japanese subs, and annoying. Yeah, that's super annoying. If I changed my religion to Islam, would that be considered immersion towards? All right, you're just trolling now. It has less to do with Mexican people, more to do with xenophobia in general. I don't know, man. I know where I live. I mean, I'm not saying stuff doesn't exist, but like I know where I live, most people seem pretty cool. I think if you're talking about stuff that you see on the news, you know, I think stuff happens. I also think that the news makes more money on bad stuff versus good. There's a lot of good stuff that happens. I still to this day believe there's more good people in the world than bad. You just never see the good people talked about because it doesn't generate clicks and ad revenue. Boom. Okay. Cool. Well, if there are, I'm going to give you guys just a couple more seconds because I know there's like a 30-second delay. Any final questions, then I am going to end it. We're at 75 minutes, so I definitely want to jump off here and spend an hour and a half immersing. But give you one last call, and then we will end it. Not sure. Let's see. That's true. The news is biased towards many things just so they can get more views. They definitely don't help themselves. They definitely like to exploit things to make themselves look better. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I won't get into the stuff with the news, but they definitely do some weird stuff. That's for sure. We'll just leave it at that. There's a Chrome extension called Subadub that lets you put Japanese subtitles on Netflix. Interesting. Also, I need to sign up for a VPN and see what that does. That's super helpful. Well, you've got your point, but U.S. Americans don't see the same Mexicans as Germans, for instance. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all just how you perceive it, for sure. What are your plans for July language goals? Probably just more of the same. July will be starting my 4th month of mass immersion. I don't know. I don't really want to set any goals because I always set a goal and then like the time I miss it. Like I kind of just want to keep doing what I'm doing because I feel comfortable with it. I feel like it's a good pace for me. It's working. It's not leading me to a platform of wanting to learn another language. It's not making me want to drop Japanese and go to Korean full-time or go to Chinese full-time or Vietnamese or Russian or anything like that. I'm wanting to stick with what I'm doing, and I think that that's working really, really well. So I think overall my goals are just to continue doing what I'm doing. Maybe try to do more of it. But again, as long as I hit an hour of immersion a day, do my Anki reps, I'm good. I'm good. I know that I can work a little bit harder to get a little bit more, but I think I'm good with where I'm at. I just want to keep doing. I want to keep going forward is what I want to do, and I want to have a positive mentality doing that. And the way that I can do that is by setting very small goals, like in terms of like 1 hour a day, because anything extra is bonus, and that's just kind of like the icing on the cake. So. All right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining. I hope you all enjoyed this kind of weirdly impromptu and later than usual Q&A type of situation. How much of an anime do you read with subtitles or drama? The only drama I've watched with subtitles is Kantaro the Sweet Tooth Salaryman. Everything else I watch with everything else I watch just without subtitles, just with Japanese audio. Anime I haven't watched anime I've never been huge into manga or anime. Like I keep trying and it's gonna stick. And there's some stuff I like. I do like Death Note and a couple of things like that, but in terms of just being like, ooh, man, new anime, let me check it out. I just can't. I don't know. It's just not there yet. Maybe it'll come. Maybe it won't. But, like, as of right now, there's not really much I watch. How much of anime do you read or stuff? But, like, with 1 hour, you can't possibly get through it all when you do decide to move on. Like with 1 hour, you can't possibly decide to get through. Like with 1 hour, you can't possibly get through it all when you decide to move on. Are you talking about I can't read for an hour? Is that what you're talking about? Anime is just like TV or music. Yeah, I mean, I know people have different tastes and stuff. There's probably something out there for me. I just haven't found it yet. Well, like I said, Death Note. I like Death Note, but gotta find a niche. Yep. I need to see if like New Japan or anything has released like weird comics or something. Maybe I would like that. I know the guy to ask that would be the Japan Code. That's who I need to. That's what I need to know. Like, all right, I'm gonna answer this last question. Whatever Zachary Kilburn is typing here. All right, I assume he's typing something else, but sadly, the new anime lost the beauty of the classics for some reason. They're just too pika brushed, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. Deciding comprehension level when you do move on to the next episode. Right, well, after how many words you learn. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can't assess anything like that until... I think the only time I'll be able to do that is after I finish the Tango decks. At least the N5 deck. And we'll kind of see what happens there. And then we'll go from there. I'm not sure what exactly the N5 deck, that Tango N5 deck teaches, or how many words. I think 1,000-ish. So we'll kind of see where my understanding is after that. Because I've still got, let's see, we can do the math here. I have 927 cards to go in that Tango deck. I'm doing 10 a day. Divided by 10. So I've got 3 months of the Tango in one deck. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll add a couple of cards here or there. If it's a day where I'm particularly feeling good, I might add another 5 or so. But, you know, whatever. And then once I finish RTK, which I've got... because I'm doing 10 a day on that. And I'm not going to change that again. I'm going to stick with 10 a day on RTK because I find that that's just what is easier for me to stick with. Got 400 cards left on that. So 400 divided by 10, that's 40 days. Yeah, so another month. Man, it's going to be a 5-month journey finishing RTK. What a joke. Isn't Pika Pika part of the classics? That I don't know. Sailor Moon was kawaii, but the new Hunter X Hunter. If I learn Japanese, should I learn Chinese or Taiwan first? I don't know. If I learn Japanese, should I learn? I mean, if you're going to learn Japanese, I would learn Japanese before I would learn Chinese or anything from Taiwan. Just skip Tango. I like Tango. To be honest, I think it's helped me in multiple ways. One, hearing stuff, but two, it's actually really helped solidify what I've learned in RTK. How do you immerse anyway, since you don't read, just watch anime with subs? I watch... most of my immersion comes with just dramas or YouTube videos without subtitles. I don't use subtitles except for in Kantar, the Sweet Tooth Salaryman. That's the only one I use subtitles in. I just watch stuff as a native would. I'm just going straight into reading. No Anki. I'm finding it fun. Yeah, find what works for you. I mean, that's part of language learning. For sure. Cool. I'm going to end, but I do want to say, like, why? Yeah, I'm curious as to the reasoning on why you say skip Tango. I want to see that, and then I am going to end the stream. Just if you have anything for that, because I'm finding it really beneficial. Like reading the other cool thing is like it shows you a sentence, and you have it, and so you'll see, for example, like I don't know, kangoshi, which is like, I think, nurse or something like that. But you'll see it in the beginning of the sentence. So it'll be like, kangoshi wa I don't know, does something, whatever, right? Tetsudaimasu, or whatever, like the nurse helps or help the nurse, whatever. That's not a sentence in Tango at all. I'm just trying to give you an example here. But then you'll see it later, and it'll be like, it'll be the same word, but it'll be in a sentence with different words around it. That way you can't just memorize, oh, okay, I remember this specific kanji was in this part, so I know it's here. It puts it in a different location so you can see it in multiple contexts, so you can actually get a feel for picking the words up, if that makes sense. That probably did not make sense. I'm really bad at explaining things sometimes. Do you like RTK, or do you find it confusing? I like it. Like, I mean, I have my ups and downs with it, but I think that's just part of the process of learning kanji. But I like it. I specifically like this newer deck that Matt did because of the explanation for kanji and primitives. Primitives. So yeah. Do you prefer Russian or Arabic? I think Arabic is most useful, and like 24 countries speak Arabic, but Russian, I think, is a very beautiful language. I don't know. I think they're both fine. I think it depends on what you have interest in. In terms of usefulness versus learning something you like, though, I don't find usefulness to be a reason to learn a language, because it's going to be really hard to stick with that, versus if it's something that you actually have a genuine love for. But you know, I think Russian is an incredible language. It is one that I would love to spend a little bit more time on and get better, you know, down the road. But it's a little far off for where I want to be. Just knowing what my next, you know, next couple of languages that I want to be, or specifically my next one. But I think Russian's great. I think Arabic's amazing too. And maybe at some point I will learn it down the road. But I just think that too many dialects to choose from, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking for in Arabic. So it's just kind of a little bit more of a, I don't know what to do kind of situation. I don't find decks help me because I just learn it in context of the deck, but I wouldn't be able to read it in the wild regardless of how hard I tried. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting point. Don't make my mistake. I over-Anki'd and had no ability. The less Anki, the better. Even if you understand the grammar in an example sentence, that doesn't translate to reading comprehension too well. Reading comprehension, like, I know that I do like that I can read that character. Reading comprehension is not my main focus, though. Like, in terms of knowing the kanji, it is. Like, and realistically, reading helps stick in my brain. Like, it helps words stick in my brain. But the odds of me reading are pretty... I keep trying to get into it, but I don't read in English. I very rarely read books or anything, so I'm not overly concerned about reading comprehension. Obviously, it's something I want to work on, and I will work on, but it's just not... My main concern right now is being understood what is spoken to me, whether it be on TV or if I get another chance to speak to a Japanese human being or someone who speaks Japanese. I'm shooting for 50% comprehension rate right now with the sentences. Like when a sentence is I eat Taco Bell at 2 p.m., I learn I eat and I can understand what's going on, finding it more fun than Anki. Sure, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Do what works for you. That's always that's the best way to do it. I mean, you got to do what works for you. If you're not enjoying it, there's no point in doing it. I know plenty of people who have learned languages without ever even knowing what Anki is, so I fully get it. I think that just in terms of what I'm doing, being able to feel the results of doing the Tango decks and stuff, like it's motivating is what it is. So even if, you know, long-term wise, maybe I'm not getting out of it, I don't know, but it's boosting my confidence, which is making me want to study more. And if that's the case and that's all I get out of it, then that's completely worth it to me. Cool. All right. Well, I am going to cut the stream here. So thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully it won't be another almost month before I do this. I am planning on doing, I think I'm going to do a live stream of my 3-month update. I put a poll on here and on Twitter, and there was a couple of people that said no, but it was pretty overwhelmingly yes in terms of should I do a live stream of my results. And what I'll probably do is do a live stream and then like I'll probably talk about all my results and then I'll field some of the questions. That way, if you just want to see the MIA results, you can, just watch the first X amount of minutes and then we can answer questions. So, but then that'll be, I don't know, sometime next week because it's what is today? 25th. It'll be, let's see, next Wednesday will be start of month 4. I don't know if it'll be next Wednesday, but I'll try to figure it out. So, but yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for all the questions. Thanks for sticking around and hanging out and chatting, all that good stuff. And I will see you all, I don't know, soon in the next stream or in the next video, whenever that is. Probably in the next couple of days. So, take care.